Good day, my loves. Good day, good day, good day, good day. Top of the day to you. It is April 7th and it is what? Let's see. 9:35 in the AM down in the southern parts of the USA. Sorry about that. Say hi. Say hey. Since you interrupted. Say hey. Yes, super. Good day, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. I really do. I send you peace of mind, love in your heart, and a little healing for your soul, okay? I normally say healing for your heart, but now we want love in our heart. We've done a lot of healing. If you've been with me from the beginning, I thank you. For all my new subscribers, I thank you. Welcome to my channel. This is where we talk about all things that we deal with in life, but from a spiritual perspective. And right now, I'm currently on my healing journey, healing old wounds, healing trauma, healing things I didn't know was trauma. Like, it's just crazy. But as you go through this, you also get to know yourself a little better, right? And one of the things I talk about and I stress and I drill in not only to myself, but I want to pass this message on to you guys, is that you really do have to have compassion. Once you have compassion for yourself, it's easier to have compassion for enemies of your soul. Okay? They look like family, friends, lovers, children. However, if you take a deeper look at their behavior and their actions towards you and the things that they say, but mainly the things that they don't say, right? You'll see that they are not for you for whatever reason. You can put whatever label you want to put on it. You can put envy, you can be jealous, you can put hate, you could put just point blank don't like you, whatever the case may be. But really, the issue is with themselves. And on this journey, that's something that you'll realize because you're healing yourself. And as you heal yourself, you recognize the things that you've done out of hurt feelings, out of a bruised heart. You'll realize the things that you have done, because that's basically what your spiritual journey is about. Yeah, it sucks sometimes when you find out around about the people that are around you, but recognize and enter over and understand that they are also on their spiritual journey, okay? Whether or not they're awakened to it or not, they are also. And so, one of the ways that I have learned, because I didn't know. And so, you may be at the point where you didn't know either, and you're just now coming into this knowing, this awareness, right? And a whole lot of other stuff comes with that. But right now, we're focusing on us. We're focusing on healing and not getting caught up in the plan to derail us, okay? You came down here for a reason. You came down here for a purpose. And as I am discovering my reason and my purpose, you will most likely be doing the same thing. But it only comes into fruition when we heal. And I really still don't fully know and understand. And I am sure that is by design, because I don't know everything, just like you don't know everything. So it doesn't matter how many videos we watch, how many books we read, how many people we talk to, how many gurus we listen to. Nothing. It does not matter. I don't care. I have consumed so much information in the past 3 years, and I'm no closer, but I am so far from where I was. If that makes any sense at all. And it's because what I want to know has to come from inside of me, and it has to come from my own intuition, which comes from God. Your intuition is a gift from God. And what sparked this conversation, because that's what I like to have with you guys, This is not a one-sided conversation. This is an interactive conversation. So I am curious as to you guys' experience. Now, I done poured my heart out for like 300 or so, 400 or so videos. And, and it was therapeutic for me. And it was, I was supposed to. I wasn't comfortable doing it. But not at all. To a certain extent, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable talking. That's a given, right? But thank you. But when you feel like your life is a mess, the last thing you want to do is display it, right? When you feel like you don't have everything together, the last thing you want to do is display it, right? When you feel like you are at your weakest and your most vulnerable, the last thing you want to do is display it, right? So that's where the uncomfortable part came in for me. But it wasn't nothing that I wasn't already doing, because I have been vulnerable my whole life. I just didn't know it. I thought, anywho, that's a whole nother story. I've always been expressive about what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing and what I'm knowing. And what I didn't know was that I am a gift from God. And so are you. You are a gift from God. And so there were certain things that you were naive to. You were naive to a lot of the wickedness. Yes, we seen it. You hear what I'm saying? Listen to what I'm saying. We seen it. We seen the wickedness. We watched the news. We, especially if you grew up in the type of neighborhood I grew up in, you seen it. But we didn't know to the depths that it went, right? And so on your spiritual journey, as you're healing, you're discovering a lot of things about this world as well. This world is a beautiful mess. One of my favorite songs from this artist called Londrell. It is. Life is a beautiful mess. And we're here for a reason. We're here for a reason. And I've said this in my earlier videos, but I'll repeat it again just in case my new subscribers, this is your first video that you are watching. Welcome. This is Spiritually Savage. And it's like, I grew up in a religious family, very religious, very religious. And so this path was not easy. It wasn't easy because I had to do a lot of unlearning, a lot of undoing. And I'm still learning. I don't know everything. But I know there's a whole lot more than just church. And if you've clicked onto this channel, you know it and you feel it and you see it and you want to know more. And that's okay. The church teaches us that it is a sin, that it is against God. But how can you be against God, right? God created you. God created you. The Most High created you. So how can you be a sin? Now, I know the Bible also tells us that every child is born in sin. To some extent, that is very true. But it's also a part of it where it's not true. Okay? And I won't go into depths about that right now because this video, I want to remain on task. I'm doing my best, y'all. Y'all know how I like to go off on a tangent because I like to give y'all background, but I'm trying to remain on task. And so I was writing in my journal, and I am going to do a series on journals because they're very therapeutic, right? And so when you don't have the means to go to counseling. You are tasked with counseling yourself. And on this path, God allowed me, not allowed, let me not say it like that, because I was dragged by God to sit down. Listen, I did a video on that too. If you don't listen to the warnings that God sends us, He will literally drag you. And it will feel like you're being dragged because everything around you will fall. Because the higher power is trying to get your attention. And I'm hard-headed, not intentionally. It's really not. And I know God knows my heart, because it's not like I'm intentionally like, okay, I'm not gonna do it. Like, there are certain things, yeah, that I'm a little stubborn about. But if we all knew the secret to making our lives easier, we do it, right? That's a given. So if I knew what it would take to just, like, if there was just one, I know it's not just one answer, but go with me on this. If there was one thing that you could do that would just change your whole circumstances, wouldn't you do it instantly? It would happen. You'd be on it like right then and there. That's how I am. So it's like, and God knows that. So in order to slow me down, it's like there's certain things I don't know. And I am of the mindset where if I don't know, it's like, it's kind of paralyzing. Not because I'm scared, it's because the way my mind works, it needs to know so I can plan. But how many of you know that when we make plans, God laughs? So that is the process and the unlearning I am learning how to do, is stop being stuck. Because I am the orchestrator of my own life. And I know once I surrender and stop trying to control, because that's basically what planning is. And I've said to you guys a bunch of times, we are not in control. I am learning that. I'm still learning that. That is probably a million layer onion. I don't know, because I've planned my whole life. And when things started going crazy and I didn't understand, I didn't think anything about black magic. I didn't think anything about spiritual warfare. I didn't think anything about someone was putting roots on me, as the old people would say. And I remember specifically when someone mentioned that in my childhood, I really didn't believe in it. And that is the trick that the devil has on Christians, on people who are so engulfed in religion that they don't see what is happening spiritually around them. We came here with our spiritual sense intact, but when you've gone through trauma and you've experienced trauma on all levels, not just what has happened to you, the physical, but the mental. When you're told you're nothing, when you're told you'll never be successful, when you're told you're just like your father, or when you're told that, no one loves you, or when you're told that you were a mistake, or when you're told that they wish they would have aborted you. Yeah, that's emotional and mental trauma. Which, if you don't heal that trauma, it manifests in the physical. That's how the energy, that's why our lives feel the way they do and are the way they are, because we've experienced so much trauma from coming into this world. And it is traumatic. I just watched a couple of videos and I never even saw it that way. How traumatic it is for a little baby boy to get his foreskin cut off and he doesn't even know what's going on. The body remembers. Even if the mind doesn't remember, because remember, the mind is very powerful. When that happened to that young man, that little boy, his mind probably took him out of it. His mind took him out of his body. Remember, as children, we are so connected to God. We are innocent. And that's what the devil wants to steal. That's what he uses. He uses our innocence. That's why they try and traumatize you as a kid. Molestation. They're trying to steal your essence. They steal your energy, especially if you're told to shut up. Like, I never realized how I have instituted trauma in some of the children that have come across my path. Even in my young days, when they would get popped and I'd tell them to be quiet. How do you hit a child? And I had to repent for that. And I made amends to those that I harmed, that have been in my presence. How do you hit a child and then tell him to shut up? Come on, baby. Get down, Cash. Thank you. Now, how do you do that? Because we were conditioned to do that. That's slave mentality. That's a slave master mentality. So basically, we enslaved our children. We brutalized them and then told them to do what we wanted them to do. And then don't have no feelings about it. Don't have no emotions about it. Don't have no opinion about it. And then you wonder why you grow up, or your children grow up and they don't have a voice, or they allow people to manipulate them, or they allow their spouses to take advantage of them. You wonder why. It's because we were groomed that way. And I'm not faulting the parents, so please do not take that, because 9 times out of 10, they did not know either. Our parents didn't know either. They were groomed to be that. They were groomed. This goes back 400, 500 some odd years, y'all. And every time the select few tried to awaken the masses, they were obliterated. But now it's time to wake up and see yourself, and to have compassion for yourself, because you didn't know better. You didn't know better, my love. My love, you didn't know better. And even when you know better, it's hard to do better, because you have to uncondition yourself. And I'm leading into that. Literally, this is where this comes from. So I am learning to deal with my addictions and to see why and whence they arise. Excuse me. And so last night, I don't know about y'all, but last night it was rocking and rolling here in Georgia. I am talking, I had never seen anything like it. I'm talking about, it stormed so bad last night. And it was like storm, and then it stopped, and then it was a storm, and then it stopped, and then it was a storm with just a little rain. Say hello. Hey, buddy. Don't stand in the way. Get down. Thank you. And so I wrote this down, giving myself compassion, after I wrote about, like, okay, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, I did this. And then I wrote, and it's the last thing I wrote, because you know how when, how do I want to say this? We judge ourselves based upon when you are coming out of the darkness and you're realizing that you have accepted other people's opinion of you as your own. That was never the case for me in the beginning. And so this is why I say I am so loved by God, because there were 30 years, y'all, where I was not confused, where I lived in my divinity, accidentally but on purpose. Accidentally because I wasn't aware of spirituality. It was just me. It was just who I am. So when I started noticing things changing in my body, and when I started noticing things changing in my mind, I questioned it. That's how in tune I was with myself. I questioned it. And I questioned it outright, just like I did coming into spirituality, coming into this path. I questioned it aloud and almost got myself killed because the people I had around me was like, no, we can't let her live. Why? I still don't know. And that is one of the things God is hiding from me, because I don't know. I am just me. But why do they want to kill anybody? They want to kill you for your energy. They want your energy. They want you to be depressed. They want you to keep going in. This lady said rumination. I've been watching a lot of videos on narcissists, and understand, overstand, and understand. Even the videos that I talk about narcissists, that's my own experience. Like, in the beginning, I think I watched maybe one or two videos about narcissists, but it was so triggering for me, y'all, that I couldn't watch no more videos. I couldn't even watch them. I could not watch them because it was so triggering. So now that I'm at this point of my healing journey, I'm able to watch them. And so I've been watching a lot of them. And I'm watching this dude who is like from one of the best places I've been to, and I like bumped into him. I was watching this lady called Hermione, and then I forget the guy's name, but he's in Costa Rica, and basically he's assisting me in understanding, overstanding, and understanding my own behavior. Before, it was recognizing the behavior of others, but now I've turned my energy onto myself, and I'm recognizing why I do things the way I do, why I say things the way I say them, why I feel the way I feel, you know, and what attracts a narcissist to me. And so I am learning to put up boundaries. Now, the crazy part about it, and please understand, overstand, and understand, is that I've always had boundaries. But when it came to family and friends and significant others, there was a different boundary that was set, that wasn't tightened, that needed to be tightened, because I held them with such high esteem and high regard because of the titles that were placed upon them. Boyfriend, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, mother, father, niece, nephew, best friend, you know. Anybody outside of that scope got the full boundary. No disrespect. No, I wouldn't allow it. But I didn't even realize that I was allowing my inner circle to disrespect me and to try and undervalue me by not speaking up for myself, and by allowing them to not pour into me, but me continuously pouring into them. I did not see that. That's a sickness. That's an illness. No, the Bible does say treat people as you want them to treat you, but it doesn't say lay down and be a doormat. And that's what you're doing. If you're treating people the way you want to be treated, but they're not treating you the same way, see, that's where that part of the Bible should have said something else. If they're not treating you the same way, then stop treating them that way and put up boundaries and remove your energy and your space from them. That's an addendum that I would have added to the Bible. That's a little paragraph. You know how an addendum is, you know how they put the number? You know how you put the number by a word, and then you got to go at the bottom of the book and you gotta see a little bit more detailed information on it. Yeah, I would add that. Side note, and this is only because I heard someone say it, so I do not use big words, what some would consider to be big words. Let me clarify that, because everybody doesn't think this way. But I also had someone say that to me when I was, in my 20s, and I actually changed myself to make her feel more comfortable, because I didn't want her. She made me feel as if I made her feel as if she was less than, because the way I talked. Now, please understand, overstand, and understand that as a punishment, when I was younger, my parents made me read the dictionary and encyclopedias. We had the Encyclopedia Britannica in our house. We was one of them folks that had a whole A to Z in the house. Okay? So I will always explain what I mean, but I'm not here to downgrade myself for nobody. This is just a side note, and I don't think I've ever spoke on this before. But because I used the word addendum, and in my head I was about to use a different word. I said addendum first in my head, but then I was about to change it because I heard what somebody said, and then the girls flash in my head. No, 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 no. That's old programming. Okay? This may be a message for you because it just dawned on me. And that just happened in my head, so that's why I'm explaining it. So I did go off on a tangent, but it's informative. Don't change yourself for nobody. Don't downgrade yourself from nobody. If your vocabulary is big, continue to use your big vocabulary and help to elevate those that are around you that maybe vocabulary ain't so, vast. Vast meaning big, okay? We're all here to learn. And I don't want nobody dumbing down for me because my level of skill or knowing may not be where theirs is. No, 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 no. Don't ever downgrade yourself for nobody. Ever. I did it. And it chipped away at me. And it made me feel less than about myself, because she said, why you always using big words? Why you just can't you? And I never knew that that's what I was doing. I never knew that. But then you have to put it in perspective. And this is no judgment. But this was a woman who, and this is no judgment. This is just to put things into perspective when you're accepting criticism about who you are from people who are not where you at. Because I accepted this word from someone who could not pass the entrance exam to get into college in the English portion, and had to take the math portion. But that's irrelevant. We're talking about words here. And so basically what I did was I exchanged energy with her. I gave up my energy because I gave up a piece of me because I didn't recognize what was happening. And in turn, she gained confidence by getting me to alter my personality, by getting me to alter who I was. I never even thought about it that way, y'all. Wow. Wow. And I hadn't even said what I wanted to say. So I'll end it coming up now. So I say all that to say, give yourself some compassion when you're coming from the brinks of death. Give yourself compassion when you're coming from being gaslit and manipulated and MK Ultra'd. That's mind control. It does exist. If you're anything like me and you were under mind control, you were still aware. You remember. No, you weren't going crazy. Those things did happen. The people around you did try to just sacrifice your life. And the way that looks is by people not acknowledging who you are, what you've done, your contribution to them, by them not acknowledging your pain. Y'all, I was in so much pain when I was dealing with fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia, I did a video on that. Every illness is spiritual related. That's why Dr. Sebi was like, the healing is in the herbs. It's in the food from this planet. Okay? That's a whole nother story. But as I was sitting here and I'm dealing with my trauma and I'm dealing with healing and I'm handling it best to my abilities, because again, I was not taught this. I was groomed to be a victim. I just said those words out loud for the first time. I was groomed to be a victim. I was groomed to be a victim. But I ain't never nobody victim. I'm nobody's victim, and neither are you. You are a warrior. If you are tuned into this channel and you were guided here, like you're not here snooping because you know who I am and you trying to see what's going on in my life because I disappeared from social media for the most part, but you were guided here, even if I actually told you to come here, it's because I guided you here. You are not a victim. Everything that you've experienced was to help you evolve into the being that you need to be and that you already are. You just don't know it. And I'm in that space right now. I'm in that exact space right now. So that's why I'm speaking on it. I haven't evolved out of that space. I'm still in that space. I don't know exactly what I'm capable of. I really don't. Because this is a whole new level.